make it a better place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line. Let us.
Hi, this is Mary from Mary's Stamping Happenings, and today is Tips and Techniques Tuesday. And today I'm going to show you how to do what I call the one sheet wonder. Well, almost everybody calls it. And we're going to use the Flurry of Wishes stamp set for this. So I'm going to make 5 cards, but you actually have enough to make 6 or 7 cards. But I'm going to be making 5 cards. But I'll do that on There's a Card Thursday. But for Tips and Techniques Tuesday, I just wanted to show you how to do the one sheet wonder. So what we're going to be using here is we're going to be using a full sheet of Whisper White cardstock. Plus, we're going to be using the Flurry of Wishes stamp set, and I'm going to be using the 4 snowflakes that are in there. And I am going to use So Saffron, Pool Party, and Island Indigo. Now, with the one sheet wonder, what you're going to do is you're just going to stamp all over this cardstock, this Whisper White cardstock. And it doesn't matter if you stamp off, doesn't matter if you stamp over, you don't have to have a certain pattern. You just want to stamp. And I'll tell you, the folks in the class, as I told them, you'll know when you're done is when you inked up your stamp and then you go, where am I going to put that? This is the Island Indigo. And I'm just going to keep the same stamp with the same color, mainly because it's easier for me because faster. I don't have to then wash the, clean off the pad or clean off the stamps. This is such a great set to do a one sheet wonder. And again, as you see, you just go over it. And once you get this all done, then you're going to cut it. And that's where the template, I've got a template for it. I'll have it on my Pinterest board, and I'll also have it, you can look on my blog and it will be linked there. It will be on my Tips and Techniques Tuesday blog for this. Another one there. I think I want one over here. There. I think that's enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our stamping trimmer. We're going to take here's the template. This is a full 8.5 by 11 sheet. So I'm going to cut 1 inch off of the one side, and then I'm going to cut the rest of that in 3 3/4 columns. These are both 3 3/4. So take this, line it up as 1 inch, and I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to cut a 3 3/4 inch strip right like that. And I've got these labeled for 1, 2, cards 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because the layers we're also going to cut. And they're going to be cut a little bit different. It takes a little more to do the layers, and I may do that in another video, Tips and Techniques video. So on the 3 3/4, first 3 3/4, I'm going to cut this at 5 inches. Then I'm going to cut this at 3 inches, and that gives me 2 3-inch pieces. I'm going to take the 1-inch one, and I'm going to cut it first at 4.5. And then I'm going to cut it at 3 1/4, and that's half of this. I wanted it to be easy for first-time stampers. Then with this piece, I'm going to cut another inch piece off and another inch piece off. And then I'm going to cut a 3 3/4 inch piece off. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut this diagonally. And there I have enough to do. This is one card. This is a part of card 3 and 4, which this is a part of card 3 and 4. This is a part of card 2. And then these are all card 1s. Well, let's just do the one sheet wonder cut for the layers. And if I can find any island indigo. Oh, one piece left. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to take out my template. And the first thing you notice, there is spaces here, so it doesn't cut straight. You can't really cut straight. First thing you can cut is you can cut your 4-inch straight. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to cut this. I'm going to set this aside right over there. And then I'm going to cut a 4-inch off of here. And I'm going to cut this 4 by 4 as a diagonal, just like I did the 3.5 by 3.5 in our. So I've got that base. Then I'm going to cut a 5 1/4 off of here. Just like that. And then with this one, even though it's just like a little over 5 1/4, 5.5, or 5.5, or 1.5 over 1 1/4, I am going to cut this at 1 1/4 because I want it to be the same around as all the rest. So that's 1 1/4. And I'm putting that aside. Then I'm going to take this other piece, and I'm going to cut 2.5 inches off of that. You see right here, I need a strip 1 1/4 by 4 and 1 1/4 by 3.5. Well, that's 2.5 inches, so I'm just going to cut it right off, and I'm going to save that for the end. So I'm just putting that aside. Then what I'm going to do is off of here, I'm going to cut another 1 1/4 inch strip. This leaves me a 4-inch here, or at least it leaves me a 3 1/4, and I'm going to cut 4 inches off of this. But for this one, I'm going to cut 4 3/4 off of this. And then I'm going to cut 3 1/2 off of this. Just leaves a little piece on it. And then I am going to take this and I'm going to cut a 4-inch piece and another 4-inch piece. And then I'm going to cut this in half at 1 1/4. And then I'm going to cut one at 4 inches and one at 3 1/2. And now I have all my pieces, my layers and everything to make this. And you can do, what I usually do is I'll take these apart and I'll lay the pieces on each of these so I know which card they go with on both of them. And then I will just take my glue dots and I will put them together. Just like this goes over here, goes right there, just like that. And then I would take my other one and I would put the layers on. Then I would take these off and say, okay, this is card 1. Find the card 1 here and go from there. So thanks for visiting and happy stamping.
make it a better place.